Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Magnets have completely revolutionized the way we speedcube. That satisfying snap once you get the sides aligned, combined with a nice increase in stability, have made magnets one of the biggest innovations in cubing history. You used to have to glue your own magnets in manually, but we're at the point now where cubes as crazy as the Megaminx or even the 7x7 often come with magnets pre-installed at very little additional cost. Someone even made a fully magnetic 17x17, a puzzle so big I've never even seen one in person. But today, I want to push the limits in the opposite direction. Massive cubes are fun and all, but what's the point of magnets on a puzzle too big for speed solving? No, I want the world's best speed cubing experience on the smallest Rubik's Cube I can manage. It's time to create the world's smallest magnetic 3x3 speed cube. First, let's get a bit of perspective. Most magnetic speed cubes today range from around 57 to 55 millimeters. This is what you would think of as a normal size 3x3. The smallest pre-magnetized speed cube on the market, called the YJ Long, is a little bit smaller at 50 millimeters, but still not very impressive. On the complete other end of the spectrum, the smallest Rubik's Cube ever made is just 5.6 millimeters, about 1/10 the edge length of the original. This one is a little bit bigger at 5.7 millimeters, but it doesn't turn anymore because I had to glue the whole thing together. Now, to magnetize any 3x3, you need a total of 48 magnets, which looks something like this. Every edge piece needs to attract the two corners next to it, so you need to glue 2 magnets inside of each one. Same idea with the corners, since it needs to attract 3 different edge pieces, each one needs 3 magnets. So, the obvious question becomes, can you fit 48 magnets inside the world's smallest cube? Well, let's just say that it would be easier to fit the world's smallest cube inside 48 magnets rather than the other way around. So let's step it up a few notches to the Maru Nano Cube. At 15 millimeters, this is one of the smallest mass-produced 3x3s you can buy. It might look like it could be possible to fit the magnets in, but keep in mind that you need 3 of them inside of every single corner. Yeah, that's probably not happening. And actually, I do have a set of 48 slightly smaller magnets, which might make it seem a little bit more feasible, but have a look at this. This is actually the inside of one of those corner pieces, and as you can see, the thickness of the plastic actually means that there's way less space available than it looks from the outside, so there's still no way that 3 of these would fit. Okay, so we still need one more big step up to find our magnetizable 3x3 of choice. This is the GAN 330, coming in at 30 millimeters. Yes, it is double the edge length of the Nano Cube, but at close to half the size of a standard 3x3, it still feels suitably tiny in your hands. Plus, there's one more huge advantage to choosing this mini cube in particular. Being made by GAN, it turns like no other cube of its size. With its lightweight design, fast and fluid turning, and effortless 45-degree corner cutting, this is without a doubt the best performance to size ratio I have ever seen in a speed cube. It's also only $7 at thecubicle.com, link in the description, and you can get 5% off with discount code Z3Cubing. If I could name one bad thing about this cube, it's that it's a little bit unstable, purely due to its tiny size and how difficult it is to hold it normally. That's why it's the perfect candidate for becoming not just the world's smallest magnetic Rubik's Cube, but the world's smallest magnetic speed cube. First things first, let's get this cube up to WCA standards. Because it was designed as a keychain cube, it has this annoying little hole through 2 of the corner pieces, which definitely makes it illegal for use at cubing competitions. I could try to fill the hole, but there'd be no good way to create a smooth colored finish afterwards. Instead, the best solution I could think of was to just buy another one. I can take out and take apart the illegal corner piece, then swap out the 2 holy sections with 2 normal ones from the new cube. So let's go ahead and get this corner piece apart. Alright, slight change of plans. I guess they decided to glue together the one piece that I wanted to take apart, but the good thing is we don't actually need to take it apart because we can just take apart the non-holy pieces from this cube and then assemble them together to one piece with all the right colors. So we need an orange, a blue, let's get these in the right position here, and also a white. So all we gotta do is take this one apart now. There we go, we got the white part. Put that onto the orange and blue. Now we can go ahead and grab our original cube here and slot that right in, and there we go. We now have a holeless mini 3x3. Alright, it's finally time to get on to the magnets. Normally magnetizing a 3x3 wouldn't be too difficult, but in this case, because of the super small pieces, it's actually a little bit tricky. So let's just go ahead and open up an edge and a corner so I can show you what I mean. Like I said earlier, we need to put 2 magnets in each edge and 3 magnets in each corner. Luckily, each edge breaks down into 2 pieces and each corner breaks down into 3 pieces, so altogether we just need 1 magnet per piece. So this is the simplest interaction that makes up a magnetic cube. 1 edge and 1 corner sliding against each other like this. You put a pair of magnets right in between them so that they snap together like this, repeat that on all the pairs of pieces, and bam, you have a magnetic 3x3. The problem is, despite how small these magnets may seem relative to the entire cube, is that there's still a lot of stuff inside of these pieces that really blocks you from putting a pair of magnets. Now it's not really that bad. In fact, without any modification, this is already very close to what we want. As you can see, that corner piece fits almost perfectly, whereas the edge piece, there's a little bit of plastic in the way. I think the best solution will be to take a knife and cut down the upper half of this little circle bit right here so that we can slide the magnet down and have it fit perfectly flat against the wall. Let's try it. Alright, that took me a couple of minutes to cut things down and clean everything up, but I think that is almost perfect. We also do have to keep in mind that the other half of the edge piece normally would go inside of that little hole there, so we might have to shave down a little bit of that too to get it to fit. So we basically just have to modify those two sections of every single half of every single edge piece, which might take a while. But after we do that, we can go ahead and break out the super glue and start gluing magnets in. So let's go ahead and get started with a time lapse. Alright, the world's smallest magnetic speed cube is almost complete, but I think if we're going to call it that, before we do our first turns, we really have to commit to the whole speed cube thing and set it up properly. So I got some Lubrical black, which I'm going to put in the core, as well as a full set of Angstrom lubes, all from thecubicle.com, with a little bit of DNM37 to top it off. So let's go ahead and lube this cube up. Okay, so here we finally have the finished product. The lube is all worked in, the tensions are just where I want them, and of course the magnets are in place, and I have to say that wow, I am impressed with this little cube. But before I do an entire solve to show off the performance, I just want to mention that I was a little bit concerned at first about the magnet strength. The magnets that I used came straight out of a normal size 3x3, so I figured they might be way too strong inside of this little cube. But as it turns out, the fact that you're gluing in the magnets at such a small radius compared to a normal size 3x3 basically cancels out the effect that the magnets are so big relative to the size of the cube, and so in the end, it actually turns out being a relatively moderate magnet strength. The only difference I can feel with the magnets being proportionally larger compared to the size of the cube is that you can feel that magnetic pull over a wider range of angles of the turn. So as you're doing a turn, you kind of start to feel that magnetic pull when you're maybe about 30 degrees off from finishing it, and it kind of guides you into place with a nice soft magnetic click, as compared to on a bigger 3x3, where it's more of like a hard snappy click that you only feel when you're really close to finishing the turn. I guess you could probably get the same effect on a normal size 3x3 by using physically bigger magnets that are the same strength, or it's kind of the same feeling that you get with GAN's core magnet technology. Overall though, it's better and more useful than that harsh magnetic snap, and I really like it. Anyway, let's go ahead and scramble this thing up and see how it performs. I'll give you a hint, I've already done a couple solves on it, and I really like it. Okay, I think that's good enough, so let's go ahead and do some inspection. And 3, 2, 1, go. So I've actually already gone back to rewatch this solve, and spoilers, it turns out to right around 15 seconds, which is basically exactly what I average on a normal size 3x3. So needless to say, I am impressed and very happy with the result of this cube, that it's even possible to get times anywhere near a normal 3x3. So my first impressions are that, in a lot of ways, it actually feels very similar to solving on a normal size flagship speed cube. You just have to be a little bit more careful and precise about where you're placing your fingers. Doing like R, U, and F moves feel totally normal, whereas you saw during that solve, I tried to do a D move at one point, but it was really awkward because I had been holding the cube like this with my thumb and middle finger to be able to do U moves, but then when I tried to get in there to do the D move, I kind of had to move my fingers upward to be able to do that. So yeah, that wasn't a whole lot of fun. Also, I imagine doing M moves would be pretty difficult. Yeah, because your finger is just too big to hit that single layer, so it's kind of just rubbing against all the pieces at once. But yeah, other than a few specific types of awkward moves, I am actually very impressed with how a cube so tiny is able to perform so similarly to a cube nearly twice its edge length. Also, after doing a bunch of mini cube solves, this now feels like the biggest, most ridiculously sized speed cube in existence, even though it's 56 millimeters. That's funny. But yeah, like I said, I'm super happy with how the magnets turned out. That was kind of the main point of this video. It just has this really nice, soft, kind of guiding magnetic feel that's a lot better than you get in a lot of 3x3 speed cubes nowadays. It definitely helps with the stability, and combined with a nice loop setup, it makes this just such a fun cube to solve on. Maybe I should try competing with it for a round at a competition. I think it's allowed. Anyway, I think we've definitely succeeded at making the best best tiny magnetic speed cube, and perhaps even the smallest magnetic Rubik's cube in the world. Although in a future video, I would love to ditch the speed cube part and just make the smallest magnetic cube possible. Let me know if you want to see that, but that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.